Okay, because I'm old, I still watch television news, but in fact I saw that 47% of the American population still gets the majority of their news, or their primary news source is television news. So even with the digital revolution and all that kind of crap, it's still a significant place to pay attention to. Anyway, about a week ago, I was watching CBS This Morning, which I think is the best of the three news shows, at least the most serious, and they had Bob Schieffer on as a guest. He used to run Face the Nation for years. He's an old CBS guy, and he was there to pimp his book, Overload by Bob Schieffer. I have a copy of it here. It'll appear backward because I'm on the phone, or I could have gotten the Hebrew edition, which goes from right to left. In either case, the book is called Overload because Schieffer is complaining that with all these new platforms and all these people on Twitter and YouTube and Instagram and Facebook, where apparently 37% of people go for news first, there's too much stuff out there. There's too much stuff going on. It was a fascinating book to read because it gives a great insight into how, places like CBS, at least Schieffer, think. But when he was on the show, nobody questioned his stuff. And I'm just going to read you a couple of lines from here because I think this is really interesting. He says, when I came into journalism in the 1950s, there was a debate about whether journalists should be licensed, as the case with doctors, blah, blah, blah. Of course, we said our license is the First Amendment. Well, of course it is. That's what a free press is all about. He says now, today, it's no longer so simple. He says if you have a barrel of ink and a printing press, you're a publisher and you can say and do anything you want. Today, it's not so simple because technology has eliminated that sort of barrier, which was the cost of having a newspaper. So today, anyone, God forbid, can go and say anything they want to say. Well, it's a funny thing. That's what the First Amendment really is all about. It's about allowing anybody who has something to say something. H.L. Mencken in 1961, an really old print journalist, said, freedom of the press is reserved only for those who have a press. And that was right in 1961. Because if you wanted to have a newspaper like the New York Times, you had to have a lot of money to buy presses and paper and distribute the stuff. And if you wanted to have a broadcast like CBS, you had to be like Bill Paley and be a billionaire and be able to pay guys like Schieffer and have a broadcast and stuff like that. So that was great because all of the media was controlled by about 5 or 6 major corporations, and they all knew each other and they were all kind of cool with it. And all the people that worked for them, like Schieffer, they were kind of in on the joke, a free press. They knew it wasn't a free press. They worked for a billionaire who had his opinions, and that's what they put out. Suddenly, you get the iPhone and you get the internet, and whoa, everybody has the ability to be a newspaper and to broadcast. Well, this is just terrifying to people like Schieffer, which is tough luck. The other irony is Schieffer, all right, he's a pimp for CBS. He's a nice guy, I'm sure. I wrote him a letter. I don't think we'll ever hear from him, but I'll let you know if we did. He says, CBS News is on the cutting edge of the digital revolution. He says, CBS News is no longer just a broadcaster, but a media company that operates on a variety of platforms. Well, that's great. So now instead of watching CBS Evening News with whomever it is this week on your TV set, now you can watch it on your phone, or you can watch it on your computer, or you can watch it on your tablet. Bob, this is not a digital revolution. This is the same crap linear broadcast just going out on a lot of other platforms. There is a revolution going on here, and it's in your phone, because suddenly your phone makes it possible for you to be a broadcaster on an even footing with CBS. You don't need to work for a network anymore to get your message out. Well, this, of course, is what the whole title of the book, Overload, is about. According to him, there's just too much information going on out there. The irony is that these great defenders of a free press, these journalists, right, the thing that terrifies them more than anything else is a free press. And that's what's coming. That's what the technology is going to make happen. Last night we did a fantastic session. I hope you'll come to the next one. I'm trying to schedule it now. The 40-minute film school, which of course put everybody's panties in a twist over at film school and journalism school, where they're still charging people the ungodly amount of $65,000 a year to teach them what I can teach you in 40 minutes, at least the shooting part of it. And once you get that down, the rest of it, of course, we could teach editing also, but that's practice. But a lot of it is practice. But this notion of this takes years to be a journalist and only people who work for CBS or the New York Times are entitled to call themselves journalists. And this morning on Facebook, I'm getting a discussion with 100 people about should we license journalists? Well, this is this is the terror of a free press. Now, we actually have a free press for the first time, and millions of people who didn't have a voice, who had to sit and take whatever CNN or Fox or CBS or the New York Times shoved at them and say, well, that's it. The architecture of old journalism was, we make it, the rest of you listen to it. We know what we're talking about. The rest of you, you're just look at the ads and go buy some stuff and shut up. But now suddenly, in the world, there are 3.5 billion smartphones. Each of those smartphones has the ability to shoot video, edit video, add graphics, music, live stream like I'm doing now, and share with the world for free. Well, oh my God, it's really a free press for the first time. And is it any wonder that Bob Schieffer and everybody else doesn't know what to do with this thing? Well, here's what you do with it. Tap into it. Go find out what real people have to say and give them a voice and let them say it. And for you people out there who have a message you want to get across, pick up your phone, join thevj.com and learn how to do this. Do it properly because it's got to look good. But for crying out loud, this is a digital revolution. This is a communications revolution, the likes of which we haven't seen since Gutenberg designed the printing press 500 years ago. And this, by the way, is the 500th anniversary of the publication of Martin Luther's 95 Thesis in print. So that's the impact of the printing press. This is a revolution unlike any other, and it's going to change the nature of media and communications and journalism. And places like CBS can either get with it and get hip and become a publisher of a democratized platform, or they're going to die. And if they don't, they should die. Sorry, Bob, I paid $22 for your book. It was interesting, but not very informative. I'll see you later.